I think we face a couple of other challenges that sometimes are too shy to name, and I think of one of them as being related, follow me with this segue, to the Iraq War. Why aren't we having marches in the streets against the Iraq War? Because the children of the people with power are not dying in Iraq. We had marches 40 years ago because there was a draft and it compelled people who had power to realize that they had skin in the game. I think we have something of the same problem in our education system. It is very, very easy to be a person with power here and to have your child, as my best friend does, at collegiate. Doesn't seem to be these people complained a lot about the largely white all boys at collegiate, which has existed, I might point out, since 1635. They suddenly got nervous about segregation apparently very recently. The fact is that we have a situation in which many people don't feel passionately about public challenges in this country because they have opted out of the public institutions. And that opting out takes a variety of forms. Bottled water being one, so people don't worry about the literal physical infrastructure because they're drinking bottled water now. I'm old enough to remember when Perrier came in here, and I remember thinking people will never pay money for water in a bottle. So the fact of the matter is, we've basically for 50 years in this country now had an attack on the notion that public institutions add any value to this country, which is amazing to me as a historian, because you look at all of the advances that enabled us to become a first world country. It was the creation of public education so that we had the most skilled workforce in the world. It was the creation of the interstate highway system so that we could transport things. It was public investments. And yet somehow public investments now seen as bad. So when we're talking about public schools, we're finding this larger battle where the whole idea that public institutions are everyone's responsibility and that everyone needs them to function well has been under concerted attack for 40, 50 years in this country. And for me, the ultimate moment in which I realized the extent to which this had happened was at my 10th college reunion. The year you were graduating from Harvard, I was at my 10th reunion from Harvard, and I ran into someone I hadn't seen since graduation, and I said, "What are you doing?" I'll make up his name. I'll say his name was John. He said, "Oh, I'm a vice president of marketing for Quaker Oats." And I was very happy for us. That sounds like a great job. Congratulations. He said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm a high school history teacher." Awkward pause. And he then said, "Wow, you went to Harvard, you became a teacher?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I guess you're right. I spend my day helping young people achieve their potential and feel good about themselves. And you spend your day convincing people to eat more oatmeal. You must have a much more meaningful life than I do." But boy, is that a pervasive sense out there in the world. And it goes back to simply not valuing the young people that we're serving. And the fun, I'll tell you the fun epilogue to the story. My partner is a very prominent corporate executive, but he went to a state university, which gets kind of the same reaction from people at Harvard as being a high school teacher. So when he says, "Oh, I went to Miami of Ohio," they're all like, "Oh, nice." So rather than saying what he does do, which is he's global head of marketing for Lehman Brothers, at my 23rd reunion, when asked, he said to people, "I'm a birthday party clown." Just to see how they reacted. It was a lot of fun.